welcome to or back to my channel. My name's Annie and this is my summerween vlog. Now, I'm actually filming this intro on August 19th. So summerween has come and gone quite a while ago. I believe it was the first week of July. But yeah, just filmed the thumbnail clips and I am filming this intro now as also a bit of a short channel update. As you might be able to tell by my lack of posting, if you've been following me for a while, I've barely been able to post in 2024. This has been due to a variety of things. I had to write my dissertation. I was doing other exams because I finished uni. I had physical and mental health problems. Things have just been a little bit crazy. And amongst all that, I was trying to figure out what I was doing next year because I don't know if you know, but I have lived in California since I was 8 and lived in America before that my whole life. And then I came to the UK for uni 3 years ago. Now I'm done with uni. So I've been trying to find out how I can stay here because I've kind of built a life here for myself after being here for 3 years. As you'll see in this vlog, I didn't read as much as I wanted to, partly because of I was working, but the other part was I was desperately trying to apply for full-time jobs. And as it turned out, now future Annie knows that I won't be able to stay in the UK. I can't afford my visa, and the time crunch to get a job anyway was much too short for when my lease ends and all sorts of things. Pretty soon after this video ended, I realized that there was no way I could stay, so now I'm moving back to America. This is relevant, I promise, because it's actually good news for the channel. I'm a bit disappointed personally, but I'm trying to see it as a new beginning. I have about a week left as of today, which is weird, really weird. The good news about me going home is that I'm probably gonna take a while before I get a full-time job, and I'm really actually going to work on videos. I have actually been trying to for the longest time. I have about 4 videos that I'm working on right now, whether they've been filmed and I'm trying to edit them or I'm still reading for them. But yeah, more content actually is coming soon for this channel. I'm excited to see where things go. But yeah, just wanted to give you a little intro and a small little update on how I've been and potentially why this video is so late. But I hope you enjoy it anyway. Let's get into it. Welcome to or back to my channel. My name's Annie and today is the first day of summerween. I am so excited. It's my first summerween. Honestly, it's 3:15 in the afternoon and I slept until 1 and I was having audiobook problems and I was trying to finalize my TBR and I've just been a bit of a mess today, but I finally figured out my TBR. I just had audiobook difficulties that I'm not even gonna get into because it's boring. I have some merch. I'm a little bit broke. I'm a uni student, or I was. So I don't have a sweater or anything, which is really sad. Maybe next year or for winterween or something like that. But I do have the bookmark with the reading list and the prompts on it. And I think I'm going to fill it out as I read things just because I'm a mood reader and I want to be able to say that this is what I read, you know, as opposed to putting a TBR and not fulfilling it and having it on here. But yeah, I'm just glad I have this because it's really cute. It's really well made. Bookmarks by Alicia made it, and this is my merch, okay? I'm gonna quickly go through the TBR. So there's 5 prompts. We can read them off here. First is read a book in the dark. This can also just include at night, which I do love reading at night, but I think I am gonna try to read with my phone flashlight just to make it more atmospheric. Or I wish I had candles. That would be nice. Anyway, also it's raining. The vibes in England right now are very not summer, but that's okay. It's kind of cozy for reading. Next up is read a thriller or horror novel. I need to read an audiobook because my room is a mess and I'm gonna make breakfast and stuff. So I do have 2 for this prompt, but the second one I might not get to, which would be very sad. The audiobook I'm going to be listening to today is The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman. This is the 3rd Thursday Murder Club series. Thursday Murder Club series is about this group of senior citizens at an old folks home, and they get together every Thursday to try to solve cold cases. And they love true crime and all that stuff. And then actual murders and mysteries begin to happen in their town, and they try to like solve these mysteries. It's really cute. The mysteries are really good. They're funny, they're intense, like all the characters are always shining. I liked the first one a lot. I loved the second book, very much 5 stars. I'm also getting through this series really quickly. Like I read the first one maybe a month and a half ago, and I read the second one like pretty soon after. I think that's a testament to how much I am obsessed with these books. So I'm really excited to get into the 3rd one today. If I have extra time at the end, I really want to include this somewhere in the TBR, but it doesn't really fit any of the other prompts, and that is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is a story about the wives of Dracula, which I didn't even know he had multiple wives until I heard about this book. We're following Constanta, I believe, and it's told in second person, addressed to Dracula, and it's like, this is why we had to kill you. And I've just heard amazing things about it, and I really, really want to get to it. I don't know. I feel like summerween is the perfect time, but it just doesn't really fit any of the other prompts. The 3rd prompt is to read a book with a night sky on the summer, or any sky. And for this one, I'm gonna do Penance by Eliza Clark. I just got this the other day. I have been really wanting to read this. It is a fictional story, but it's told like true crime. And I recently read Joseph Knox's true crime story, which is like a kind of similar style, I guess. This is about these girls that tortured their classmate and burnt her to death. And they were all like 16 or something. And then it's about kind of like the true crime conversation around that. I'm just really excited. I loved Boy Parts. It's one of my favorite books. I wrote my dissertation on it. That was her debut novel, and this is her second novel, which I believe came out last year, so it's been on my list for a long time, and I'm just glad I finally bought it and I'm getting the chance to read it. Prompt number 4 is read a book with 5 words or more in the title. This one is the hardest one, and I think I'm gonna have to, I might go to my library today and see if I can find anything that fits this, because I've been having real problems getting audiobooks on Libby. Basically just like, I have multiple library cards, and the one that has like the widest selection is my LA County library card, and it's not working. I can't get into my account, so my audiobook selection is a bit limited. If I can't find anything at the library, I do have one that can fit this prompt. It's just not a horror or thriller, and I kind of really wanted to keep this readathon all horror and thriller and mystery and stuff like that. That is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, which honestly I would love to read anyway. I do really want to read it this summer, and I think I might be able to double up if I do read this one, because I believe it's set in the summer. And this is about a pirate that's in retirement now. She's a mom, and she gets called out on one last mission, and I do really want to get to this. I've had it for too long without reading it. Lastly, we have read a book set during the summer, and for this I have Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. I am like 90% sure that this is set in summer because it takes place at a gay conversion camp, and it's kind of giving summer vibes. If it's not set in summer, I will have to rethink this. Gay conversion camp, crazy things happening, flies coming out of people's mouths, and I've just really wanted to read a Chuck Tingle book for a long time, and I got this the other day, so I'm really excited about that. So that's the TBR. I'm so excited for Summerween. I think I'm actually going to also set up my Bookstagram finally today and try to participate on there as much as I can. But for now, I'm going to make breakfast, and then I'm going to clean my room because I'm starving and my room is a mess. Okay, I'll check in with you guys a bit later.
Wash your hands, kiddo.
Why can't just get you new parts? I mean, you're a dead man, not a Chrysler LeBaron.
Hello, it is the next day, day 2 of summerween. I'm just getting ready for work. I work from 4 to 10 tonight, which is not the worst, but it's like 3:35 right now. I'm running late, so I'm just gonna Uber. Had a bit of a day, but first I'll tell you about yesterday, which was actually really nice. As of today, I'm 72% into the Bullet That Missed, and I love it, which is not really a surprise. I love the Thursday Murder Club series. In this one, the case that they are trying to unravel is there was this woman that worked at like a news agency, and she thought she had cracked a really big case. She was murdered, and like she was in this car that went off the side of a cliff, and there was no body, but there was like clothes in the car, her clothes with blood on them. So they're trying to uncover that, but there's also a lot of other things going on, as is usual for these books. Like there's personal relationships developing, there's kind of like more mysteries on the side. Very good, and I just love all the characters. I was also thinking that if I can get it, The Last Devil to Die, which is the 4th Thursday Murder Club book, does have 5 words in its title. If I can get that, that could work for that prompt, because I think I will need to go to the library otherwise to find a book for that. So yesterday I had like such a nice little cozy day. I watched Lisa Frankenstein, as you saw, and honestly I loved it so much. I'm a big fan of Jennifer's Body. The woman that wrote Jennifer's Body, Diablo Cody, also wrote Lisa Frankenstein, and I think it just came out last year, earlier this year, I can't remember. I think earlier this year, and I don't know why I missed it in theaters. I think I like really thought it was coming into theaters later, and it was my bad and I just missed it. So I was really happy that I got to watch that, and it was so great. It was really similar, honestly, to Jennifer's Body, but obviously I don't mind because Jennifer's Body is like one of my favorite films ever. Really good. Highly recommend if you like a spooky kind of like offbeat film. I don't know, but I watched that, which was really nice. I ordered some food, which was a little bit disappointing. I got this juice, which was really good. I got this Donburi that I remember my friend had gotten once when we went to the restaurant I ordered from. It has this like firecracker chicken in it, and that part was good, but I found the rest of it, like the rice and stuff, for some reason was not great, which I know sounds really picky because it is just rice, but I don't know. And then it came with miso soup, which I always want to like, so I try it every time it comes to something I order, and every time I don't like it, which makes me sad. I don't know why I really want to like it, but I do, because I feel like it's good for you. I don't know. Anyway, I liked my meal for the most part. After that, I had read Penance a bit earlier in the day, but then I read With the Light Off and the Flashlight On. And also, don't be fooled by that. The weather in the UK, at least where I am, has been crazy. Earlier today it was raining. I think it's supposed to rain in like 30 minutes or something. And last night there was thunder and lightning, which was actually great for my reading mood. So I had like the flashlight on, the lights out, and it was thundering outside, which was honestly great vibes for a summerween. 70-ish pages into Penance, because I've just honestly not been having a lot of time for physical reading, which I'll talk about more in a sec, but I am really liking it so far. It's funny almost that I just read True Crime Story by Joseph Knox, and this is the same sort of idea, because I don't think I've heard of any other books that are doing the like true crime thing, but it's actually all made up. Fictional true crime, I guess. I'm sure that there are some, but I just haven't heard of them. Really like it. I don't have too much to say about it yet because my brain isn't really working right now. As far as today, it's a much less fun day in terms of summerween, just because I have work today and I had to do a lot of errands earlier. So I woke up at like 10:30ish and I had to go do my laundry at the laundrette and go grocery shopping. So I did that, and I listened to The Bullet That Missed while I did that. Today, this is my main problem. I've had migraines on migraines today. It's awful. It's just like right here, there's constant pain. And I think part of it is that I have a pimple right there, which is really not fun. I've been breaking out, but sometimes when I get pimples in certain areas, it will like trigger more migraines for me because it's like pressure on my pain points or something like that. Basically, this migraine has not gone away all day, which I know sounds crazy. It's like, it's kind of low level. I'm able to push through, but it's like painful and I just feel, anyway, I feel gross. I'm not feeling super great about going to work tonight, but basically I had to take a nap after all my errands because I was like hoping it would help my migraine go away. And by the time I woke up, it's like too late to ask anyone to cover my shift. Wish me luck. I think it'll be okay. I mean, I'm always just like pushing through and stuff. And for me, caffeine helps my migraines, which I know is not the case for everyone. So I feel happy about that because when I get in, I can just make myself a coffee, and then I'm gonna bring like a can of Coke with me as well and some migraine pills. What's annoying about my painkillers for my migraines are that I can only take them once a day. So I end up taking cold medicine and the migraine pills like at different points, and I took ibuprofen earlier, but I think today is just one of those days where I have to have kind of constant painkillers. Anyway, migraine rant over. I am going to try to read some of Penance, maybe on the bus on the way back home, and tonight obviously when I get home. I think that there is some like real life admin-y, I don't know, maybe job application stuff I also have to do. So I don't know how much I'm gonna do tonight. I think I really just want to read tonight and try to sort all the other stuff tomorrow. But I also work most of the day tomorrow. Anyway, this has been so rambly. I am basically just enjoying my time with The Bullet That Missed and wishing I had more time to read Penance because I'm really liking that so far too. So I'll check up with you guys when I have something interesting to say, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. Hi guys, it is day 3. It's like 7:30 p.m. and I have to be honest, I've not read since I last saw you. Basically, oh dear, ignore whatever's going on here. Basically, so yesterday, obviously I had work, you guys saw before I left. Okay, the first like half of my shift was really rough. I almost went home because I was having such a bad migraine. And then finally my like painkillers kicked in and I was feeling a lot better. So I finished my shift. I had a drink with some coworkers after, and then I went back to their house, and then I got home at 4:30 in the morning. Don't really know how that happened. So yeah, then I had work again this morning at 11:45, which actually was not that bad. They let me go early, so I only worked from 11:45 to like 2:30 because it was really slow, which was good. Then I just got back and like watched some YouTube and ate the food I brought home and like went on my phone and fell asleep. And now I've woken up again. God, I'm so tired. Yeah, so tonight I do want to get a lot of reading done. I don't really have anything going on tonight, so I'm just gonna focus on reading. I really want to try to finish Penance. I know that sounds crazy considering I'm 51 pages in. Could have sworn it was 71. Well, 51 out of how many? 429. So I have 378 pages to read. I think it's doable. I'm at least definitely going to finish The Bullet That Missed tonight. I can like play some games on my phone and finish it, which I'm excited about. I love it so far, and I'm really excited to get to read more Penance. I was gonna go to the park to read, but I just don't really think I have that type of energy today, so I'm gonna go sit out on my front step and read out there. I think that'll be nice. Oh, and I'm gonna go to the corner shop because the grocery's closed and I need some Coca-Cola because I need one every day. at least. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading. I want to inject more spooky vibes into this vlog, and I'm unsure how, but the thoughts are happening, just like probably not today. I want it to get more spooky. I feel like peak spookiness was day one because there was the thunder and lightning, but I didn't film it, which was silly. But I did feel like every time I would, like, this didn't happen, but I just felt like if I had tried to film it, the thunder and lightning would have stopped and I would never catch it on film. Anyway, that was really randomly. I'm gonna go to the corner shop and then I'm gonna read some penance. Hi, it is the next day. I need to start updating you guys more than once a day. I'm gonna work on that. I had a lovely evening last night until it got a little bit crazy. So I went to the convenience store. You guys saw my little haul. I loved it. I especially loved getting the strawberry lemonade that I got because in the UK, lemonade is like Sprite, if you didn't know and you're from America, and it's actually really hard to find still lemonade like that. It was a bit too sweet, but I still liked it. And I did end up going to the park, as you saw, and I was just kind of like frolicking. Like I went to the park. Honestly, it did get dark after I read about 20 pages, so I didn't get much reading done at the park, but I listened to my audiobook on the way there. And then I went on the swings at the park, and I was kind of like sat along this footpath right outside the park. Usually I sit inside, but there were like people playing where I usually sit, so I got to like see a bunch of dogs that passed by. I was honestly getting distracted. I was kind of people watching and reading. So it doesn't sound very productive, but then yeah, I went on the swings, and I don't think I've been on the swings in years. Any swings. I don't know why I said these swings, but not been on them in a while. And honestly, I got a little bit scared. I think I'm becoming a bit of a pussy in my old age. And then I jumped off when it was like high, like I did as a kid, but I got really scared to do that as well. I don't know. It was fun though. And then on the way home, I literally stopped and smelled the roses. Who am I? I don't know why I have so much joie de vivre right now, like crazy. And then I made friends with a cat, as you saw. Although in the clip I showed you, like I swear on my life, the cat was actually being a lot more friendly and like approaching me. And then I think it was camera shy, and then it just ignored me. But I guess that makes sense because my dog is also afraid of cameras. Okay, sorry. I think I'll start with the Thursday Murder Club. So I finished The Bullet That Missed. 5 stars, very good, amazing, and I loved it. I don't really know what more I can say because I don't really want to spoil stuff, but Richard Osman like continues to amaze me with how intricate the mysteries in his books are. I don't know, I don't think that they really have any weak points that I can identify. Like the characters, as I've mentioned, are fabulous, and I do love that there is like a running thread throughout all the stories in terms of like what they did in the previous book kind of all builds to what happens in the next book. Like there are consequences for their actions. So I like that it's not too episodic, if that makes sense, because I sometimes enjoy that and sometimes I don't. I really like series where there's a nice through line. But with mystery series especially, I do, what am I saying? I'm so all over the place. With mystery or like crime series, I do really prefer it when, if it's going to be like an episodic type of like, there's one mystery per book thing, which usually they are. I like it when there's good like through lines between them all and plots that carry over because it just makes it feel really cohesive. I loved it. I called my dad and then I recommended it to him. So hopefully he checks it out because he usually reads like crime stuff This is where the night started to get a little bit crazy. I have OCD, and I'm gonna blame this on my OCD because I think that's probably it. So I have this game on my phone. It's called Cooking Fever. Very fun. I recommend it. I'm not sponsored by them. I just like the game. You work at a restaurant in the game, and you like have to serve all these customers, and it's one of those like speed race types of things where there's all sorts of different things, and there's a bunch of different restaurants you can do. And there was this challenge to do like 15 special levels, but I only had 9 hours to do it, and then I realized if I fell asleep I wouldn't be able to finish it. The restaurant that it was at, I hadn't really upgraded enough. Probably no one cares about this, but I have to say it. So I was really struggling with the levels, and I'm not kidding when I say I think I started playing it at like 1 a.m. and I went to bed at 6 a.m., which is embarrassing. I got halfway through The Last Devil to Die. Already a few tears have been shed. I've been scared to read this one because I know how it like emotionally kind of wrecks people. And I think based on what's happened in the previous book, I think I could already tell what the main really sad thing is going to be in this book, and I'm kind of just waiting for it to happen. But I don't know, maybe Richard Osman will surprise me and it will be something completely different. But I think I'm gonna actually start it over. I do really like what I've listened to, don't get me wrong, but I think I was in this weird like crazed state. It's like when you try to listen to an audiobook but you're like a little bit drunk and you can't really, like, you have to go back and re-listen. Not that that's happened to me. So I think I'm gonna restart it just for enjoyment, and also knowing that the next book in the series doesn't come out until 2025. He has this new series starting though called We Solve Murders, which is coming out September, which I'm quite excited for. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna restart it just so I can get a really good grasp on the mystery and who's who, because I would say the audiobook is fantastic. I love them. I've listened to them all on audiobook. The only downside is sometimes I'm bad with the names, and like I said, his mysteries are very complex. I'm gonna restart that just so I can like savor it. And now let's talk about Penance. This is the one I really need to make progress on. Like, I have just not been physically reading because I've had, actually, there's no excuse. I just haven't been. Also, I did add to my bookmark. We now have The Bullet That Missed, Penance, and The Last Devil to Die on here. I will have done all the prompts but one when I finish The Last Devil to Die and Penance. And then I really need to read Camp Damascus because that one's set during the summer. Although I guess you could say technically this is set during the summer because the crime takes place at the end of June. I think that would fulfill all the prompts, but I still want to get to Camp Damascus. Anyway, yeah, I am 113 pages in, and I really want to make progress today, but there's a reason why I might not make much, which I'll tell you in a sec. This is so good so far. I don't recall how much I told you. I'm going to go over it again, okay? Because I feel like I didn't do a good job explaining it, or I was quite vague if I did tell you about it earlier. So basically, Penance is, like I've said in the past, it's a fictionalized true crime story. And it's basically about this fictional northern, like, vacation town? What do you call that? It's a vacation town. I don't know. Like, people go there on holiday. It's called Crow-on-Sea. And these 4 girls were like 16 in the summer of 2016. And it was actually Brexit, like, voting day. 3 of the girls tortured and burned the last girl to death in one of these like chalets on the shore. There were a lot of like arson cases and people burning these chalets like for a long time. Like, there's kind of a history of this, and people honestly really dismissed it because of who owned the chalet. It was like this very conservative, controversial politician slash real estate mogul slash hotelier slash author guy, and no one called it into the police. So the girl died. Alec Z. Corelli has written this book about the murders, right? And then we get a message at the beginning of the book, very much like True Crime Story by Joseph Knox. Sorry, I'm going to be constantly comparing them just because that's the only book I've ever read that's like this. So it just says that shortly after publication, several of Corelli's interviewees publicly accused Corelli of misrepresenting and even fabricating some of the content of their interviews. It turns out also that I think he stole some of the people involved's like personal journal entries without their consent. So that's like the controversy of the fake author that's writing this. This has been so good so far. It's very well thought out. It's very thorough. It's very layered. And we're just kind of walking through the history of the town and yeah, the layers to everything. Why this crime was a bit overlooked at the time. Why arsons were so common in Crow and Trent. Why the power players in the town and the way that the privileged people in the town treat the people that aren't as privileged. It's just very, very interesting on a lot of different levels, and I am really, really loving it. And it's so different from Boy Parts, which I think makes me so excited to see whatever she's gonna write next. I mean, apparently that must be some sort of magazine, says, confirms Eliza Clark as one of our most exciting new novelists. And I do have to agree, just because it's so different from Boy Parts. I think this reminds me a little bit of like R.F. Kuang, although I don't really like her books, where she did the whole Poppy War series and then she completely did, I mean, it wasn't like that different, Babel, but it was different. And then she did Yellowface, so it's just like a bunch of different genres. And this is kind of that vibe, but I actually like Eliza Clark. Sorry to any R.F. Kuang fans. We've entered our first section, I think I showed you when I was at the park, which is Girl A. So there's like Girl A, B, and C, although we know their names. And then there was a Girl D, actually, that got randomly dragged into it because her family was sketchy, which I would assume is either economically or racially motivated. It seems like we're gonna be walking through the girls one by one, and it's very interesting. I mean, Girl A sucks. She's awful. She is the daughter of said controversial politician guy, and she is just horrible, and I'm loving it. Why is it raining? I really kind of rambled about that. This clip is getting a bit long. Of course it's raining. You can just see the variety of English summers, I guess. I think it was hotter last summer, but this is my first summer I've spent here, and honestly, in the last couple days, thunder, lightning, raining now. Yesterday was like nice and sunny. I'm really actually a bit warm. Who knows? I am leaving soon, so I should be getting ready to meet a friend at Chance Encounters, which is like a board game cafe, and I'm so excited. I haven't been in ages, and I also haven't seen her for a while, so that will be really fun. We have it booked for 2 hours, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna head to Waterstones and like hunker down and do some work. I basically really, really need to apply for full-time jobs. My lease here ends at the end of August, and if I don't have a job by then, I will have to move back to the States, which would not be the end of the world, but obviously I wouldn't love that. And I kind of had this like weird wake-up call thing yesterday where I was like, oh my god, I only have a month and a little bit, or like a month and a half, a little bit more than that, to apply for jobs, and 2 of those weeks I'm actually going to be on vacation with my family, so it's going to be harder to apply for things. So yeah, I'm going to try to apply for like 5 to 10 jobs today, and then after I'm done with that, read more Penance. I think I'll also read on the bus on the way to the thing, but yeah, I want to be reading more today, but I really, really need to apply for jobs. I wish my life would just stop for readathons. It's very sad. I'll take you guys along with me. I'm sure I'll show you the beautiful Waterstones, and I'll check in with you guys later today. Hi, I hate to break to you, it is the next day, and I look awful today. Goodness gracious. I think I'm gonna straighten my fringe so that I look at least a little bit presentable, because I'm gonna go to a coffee shop. I had fun with my friend at the board game cafe. I went to Cafe Nero. I looked into like jobs to apply for, and I created a comprehensive list. And then I got too stressed out, didn't apply to any. I was just really tired. So I went home, I made this delicious sushi bake, and then I ate it, and then I fell asleep at like 10, which is weird for me. And then I woke up at like 2, and then I read some Penance, but only like 20 pages or something because I was really tired. And then I fell asleep, and I woke up at 8 and I made breakfast and I fell asleep again. And now here I am, and it's 2:43 p.m. I've been up since like 1, but I was really just watching YouTube and like half asleep. Some thoughts about penance. I do have some. Basically, I'm still in the girl A section, although I just have one little bit left to go before I start the girl B section because I was looking ahead. And we're really getting the like unreliable narrator stuff from Alec Z. Corelli. He's clearly interfering in things. So there's this girl, Lauren, that went to school with all the girls for a while, and she is like giving out. Sorry, I ran out of storage, so it cut me off. Oh my god. Guys, I feel like I look honestly horrible today. I'm not gonna put on makeup. I just think it's like my acne has been bad and my face is looking all swollen or something. I don't know. Yeah, so penance, really good. Our narrator is very clearly like interfering with the story. He's interviewing this girl named Lauren that went to school with girl A. Lauren was a bit mean to girl A, and she was also, I guess she found Joni, like the girl that died, a little bit annoying sometimes, but like she really did like her for the most part. And she's saying in this interview like, oh, I do have regrets, like I should have been nicer to Angelica, who's girl A. I shouldn't have said mean things about her behind her back, which good for her. And then it says, I told Lauren that I didn't want to pick at her scabs. I told her that I didn't think she should feel guilty over things she did between the ages of 11 and 15. I told her that laughing behind the back of a difficult friend was not the worst thing a person could do. She did not know what Angelica was capable of at that time. But still, I asked her, was there anything in particular that she regretted? You can see his like duality there, where he's like, oh no, don't blame yourself. Even though I think personally, if you were kind of a bully and you were mean to people behind their back in middle to elementary school, I don't believe that like that is excuses it just because you were that age, but whatever. You can tell he's approaching it as a journalist, or almost like, you know, someone from like a television network. They're trying to get a good story. And I feel like the fact that he's put this in his fictional book, like, doesn't cast him in the best light. What else? Oh, and just Angelica, girl A, is just horrible. And there are sections that are like italicized, and I think that they're from her diary or her like correspondence with Alex Z. Corelli. She sucks. But I did find this one thing relatable. Like, I was not very popular. I was like pretty awkward and like quiet in elementary and middle school. I guess even up to high school, and I still feel sometimes like that today. I think everyone feels a bit weird sometimes. So like she started like getting quieter around her group of friends, and then she became more and more like bullied. In her friend group, like they would talk about her behind her back, or they'd like make jokes about her to her face. And then she writes, she says, sometimes I think, oh, it'll be okay if I don't talk today. Joni and the others will leave me alone if I don't say anything. But then sometimes I try to talk normally anyway, and they would always say something, like I'd said something wrong or weird, so I just go back to my phone. That's so sad. That's so sad. Like, she sucks. I don't like her, and like I don't think her behavior is great at all. But it is really sad because I think I've had that feeling before, and I think a lot more people have that feeling than you would think, where you say something that you think is normal or fine, or like you're like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna talk. I'm too nervous to talk. And then you can't help it. You talk anyway. And then no one receives it well. Like, it's kind of it like crushes you, doesn't it? So I don't know. I think Eliza Clark is she's capturing that feeling of being a girl in like the worst ages to be a girl, like 11 to 15, 16 area, very, very well, and capturing like how horrible people can be and stuff. So I really, really want to finish it today. I took work off tonight because I swapped my shift with a coworker. So I'm going to go to Cafe Nero. I'm going to apply for 3 to 5 jobs, and I'm going to hopefully finish this today. It's kind of doubtful that I will, but I really would like to because I'm really enjoying it. Also, about The Last Devil to Die, I'm still like doing my reread, so I don't really have any new updates because I haven't like reached the 50% mark yet. But I am glad that I'm rereading it, even though I actually do remember a lot more than I thought I did. It's nice to be able to spend longer with these characters, I think. Spooky sighting. I don't know what that is. That's terrifying. And it's too dark to see. Oh. Hi, I am finally updating you on the same day, like 2 updates in a day. Crazy stuff, I know. It is about, I think 12:30 in the morning. So I'm up late, but I'm really wanting to finish this. I hope I'll be able to do it tonight. I don't really know. I'm watching the summerween sprints and I read like 45 pages in the first one. Now it's like half an hour into the second sprint, but I was kind of updating. I have all these spreadsheets for YouTube that I use to like schedule stuff. And obviously I've been really bad with posting videos lately. So I'm trying to get back on that. So I was like scheduling stuff and downloading videos off my phone because my storage is all used up. I think this year for my birthday, I'm gonna ask for this cord that will make my DSLR upload videos to my laptop because I really should just be filming on there. It's probably not even expensive, but I always forget to buy it. Anyway, tangent aside, I am over halfway. Independence. I'm now in Girl B's section and I'm really liking the way that this is written. I am loving this book. I'm loving it. It's bringing back memories of unhappy times. For me, I can't lie, this is just perfectly kind of capturing those times and how mean people can be, especially girls. I have just folded over the pages of the things I wanted to talk about, and there's a few. So first off, to end Girl A's segment, this is such dodgy stuff from our narrator. Crazy. What follows is the first of 4 sections of my interpretation of a key event in the year leading up to the murder. These prose sections are adapted from interviews with Jade Spencer, blog posts, and my correspondence with Girl A and Girl B, and serve to give the reader an emotional insight into each perpetrator's emotional life before the murder. Let's treat this as like a real nonfiction, like true crime book. That's weird for a true crime author to be doing. I don't think that's normal. Let me know if it is. Yeah, he then has this whole section that he writes in prose as if it's like a novel of this event that happens in Halloween, like the year leading up to the murder from Angelica's perspective. She's our Girl A, and it's interesting to say the least, but yeah, he's not, I wouldn't trust him at all as a narrator. We're clearly not supposed to, but I don't think I like him very much. And then we get into Girl B. So that's kind of where I am now. I'm about like 40 pages into Girl B. This one's interesting. Girl B's name is Violet, and I think I can relate to her the most out of the girls so far, which I don't think we're really wanting to relate to them, but I kind of do with her. She just feels really out of place, and there's so many good like quotes in this. We get a snippet of like a true crime podcast at the beginning of every section from what I can tell. And then we have these sections in italics that are like their written correspondence with the author. In the first bit of like her written bit, she is talking about how she identified with someone like falsely accused for this murder. It's like a real case. I forget what the case is called. I looked it up. I have so many things I'm going to look up. I'm going to probably be into true crime after this because that's kind of like how this is going. I don't know if that's really the effect of the book, but I always feel conflicted about true crime stuff. So this is interesting. I suppose the core difference between me and him, his name is Damien Eccles. You can look up what case he was in. I would look it up, but I'm lazy. Though I suppose the core difference between me and him is that he was innocent and I'm not. But I suppose I'm more innocent than some would suggest. Less innocent than Damien Eccles. But I think my point still stands. So she's like, oh, I don't really know if I can blame myself. Meanwhile, we've just read this extract from a true crime podcast that's saying like that she's horrible. Because basically, Violet and Joan used to be friends. I'm trying to keep this spoiler free. I need to stop going into so much detail, I think. But yeah, so there's that. I'm going to try to keep it more spoiler free from now on. I love Eliza Clark's writing. It's not flowery or anything, but it really gets the point across. I don't know if this is like a profound section, but like I just really liked this bit. It's talking about Violet as a baby. She was always like crying and wouldn't sleep and stuff. So it says her mom took her to a GP and was told that some babies simply did not like to be babies. And that was that. She did not like being a baby. She was so distressed by being a baby that she screamed at the horror of it. She hated being a baby so much she couldn't sleep. Dawn told me that she felt cruel for bringing the child into the world. She resented the baby for resenting being alive so much. I don't know why that section. I was like, wow, when I read it. It's a little bit like creepy, like horror-y. I think I'll probably read a bit of sections that I folded down that kind of capture like the feeling of being bullied as a kid, or like the way that small little comments can get to you when you were a kid. Violet's confidence had been eroded by many tiny slights. A girl calling her annoying, a boy laughing at her for her eagerness to answer the teacher's questions, a group of children who didn't want to play the same game she did, the teacher asking her to give someone else a chance to answer a question. For a 5-year-old, this was death by 1,000 cuts. Oh, I don't know. I'm just finding it all very relatable. Then, like, there's an interview with one of her teachers, and I also felt I related to this. This is all bringing back how I felt in, like, middle school when I used to just eat lunch in the library by myself. I would never return to those days, and this is bringing them back. It's crazy. So one of her teachers says, well, I was kind of a Violet, I think. A bit mouthier than her, but I suppose I think a Violet is a student who is just kind of weird and doesn't know how to do anything about it. They just don't fit in, and they don't understand why they don't fit in. The other kids probably don't either. There's something about them that's off, and so they do absolutely nothing to help themselves with that, apart from maybe melt into the background, which is sometimes the best you can hope for. In my experience, it's just this intangible thing, like whenever I opened my mouth, I said the wrong thing, I got the wrong haircut, I wore my tie wrong, I wore the wrong thing on non-uniform day, I walked wrong, I liked the wrong stuff. As far as my peers were concerned, I was just fundamentally incorrect. And kids are very instinctual, they're very primitive in a lot of ways, and they can smell difference on you. It's difficult when you're constantly doing something your peers think is wrong and you don't understand what that is or why. I don't know if I've felt anything more in my life. That's an exaggeration, but still, that was exactly how I felt growing up. This book it's crack. It's like, I don't want to stop reading. It's so good. It's so good. Also, lots of references to Slenderman. And I was looking at how many like pages are in the book or something. And I ran into this bit that's just like the bibliography. And one thing caught my eye, which is an episode of the Monster Talk podcast that I guess like she listened to a lot of true crime podcasts for this. And it's about Slenderman and like the Slenderman killings. So this is already like directly referenced in the book, and I'm very interested in that. And I do kind of vaguely know about the Slenderman stabbing, but I don't know much about, like, I kind of would need my memory refreshed a bit, but this is already doing it for me. But I remember when I heard the concept of this book, I thought of the Slenderman stabbing kind of instantly. Also, it wasn't a killing. I misspoke. The girl survived, but I think she was stabbed like 36 times because these 3 girls at her school, I think it was 3, could be more, could be less, they said that Slenderman told them to stab the girl. And so they took her to the woods and they stabbed her a bunch. And she survived. God bless her. I hope she's doing okay. Terrifying stuff. But yeah, that reminded me a lot of this. So I think this is interesting. This is like the kind of book where I have a million tabs that I keep opening on my computer because I want to look up stuff in it, which is a good sign. But I need to not look up that stuff because I want to finish this tonight and I don't want to be up until 4 a.m. And I don't know how realistic that is. We'll see if I can finish this tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow. But I really also want to get to either Dowry of Blood or Camp Damascus. I think because this does take place in the summer and I've owned it longer, I might do a Dowry of Blood because I think it's also maybe a faster read. But ideally, I would get to both. I just don't really think that's possible at this stage in the readathon. All right, I'll update you guys if I finish this tonight, if I have any more thoughts about it, or I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, unfortunately, I did not film at all yesterday to catch up with you guys because I just didn't have time. I went to a study center and I applied for a job or two and read a bit of penance, and then that took longer than expected and I was having drinks with a friend, so I was running late, which means I didn't have time to talk to you guys, and then I got home from that at like 2. So yeah, currently it's like 2:30 on the last day of summerween. I just really want to finish penance today. I have a little bit over 100 pages left and I have work tonight at 7, but I am really gonna just like hunker down and finish it. I wish I had read more physically during this readathon, but honestly, I don't really have much time. I really need to be applying for full-time jobs, so it's hard, but I think I need to put booktube on the back burner again, which is just annoying because it's what I want to do, but I do need to get a job. So yeah, fair warning, I might not be posting very much. I mean, I haven't been, but the goal was always to start posting more regularly, and now it's like I do need to really prioritize getting a job. Anyway, I don't know how much more I can say about Penance right now without spoiling anything. I'm still really loving it. It's getting really interesting. I'm almost done with Girl D's section. She was the one that like wasn't really involved, but she was like implicated. It went like A, B, D, and then we're gonna circle back to C because she's like the most interesting and important one. One thing I was thinking about is how far we've strayed from, like, in the beginning we really were talking about the victim a lot. We're doing deep dives into the perpetrators, and I find that interesting in terms of true crime because I think inherently people that commit crimes are more interesting to us as a society than the victims, which is fair enough, but also like a little bit sad. So like at the beginning it did seem like this was going to be very much about the victim, and then we've gone really into the girls that did this to her. I was thinking that, and I don't know if that's like me being dumb and that's like a very obvious point to make, but I found it interesting. Why is my water... Can you guys hear that? Anyway, stop. Oh my god, give me a minute. Anyway, I think that's like all I really have to say about Penance. It is banging. It's such a good book. It's so drama. One reason why I love reading is because I feel like I'm just getting gossip and like drama from other people's lives. I like hearing about drama that's not my own, and I think people that follow true crime, it's not really the same thing. Like they're really interested in like twisted people and like how could this happen, blah blah blah. And this book just really calls out true crime fans. Not that they like haven't been called out before and like they should be, but as a reader, like I'm so engrossed and I'm loving this. If this was actually real true crime, I would feel a little bit badly about how interested I am in it. That's how I always feel with true crime, and it really is kind of, I don't know, we're seeing, my words are not really coming right now. We're seeing exploitation of the people involved in this case and the families of the people involved in this case by our fictional true crime writer. It's very interesting. I'm gonna try to stop talking about that because I'm making no sense and this clip is almost 8 minutes. When it comes to the last devil that died, the thing that I was waiting to happen, it happened, and it was so sad and so perfectly written. And you know, you saw how I got boba and then I went to like my uni study center after that. Just after I got boba, it happened, and I was walking like 5 minutes around the corner to go to the study center, and I just like, I started crying because I was listening to what was happening, and I got to the toilet when I went in there, and I was like, it was not cute. Like if I had been at home, I was really trying to rein it in, but I kept making like whimpering noises. Like I was really sad. The writing of that section was just perfect, but wow. Yeah, it kind of ruined me. I think I have like an hour of that audiobook left because I did have a doctor's appointment this morning and I listened to it on the way there and back, and then I got home and I went straight back to bed. Yeah, it is stunning, 5 stars, but also very sad, very sad. And I don't want to wait till 2025 for another new one, but I mean, I guess he has the first book in a new series. I think it's a series coming out in September, so I am excited for that. Once I finish these 2 books, which I will be doing today, even if I stay up a bit late for this one after work and it's technically tomorrow, like that still counts as today, I will have fulfilled all of the prompts. So at least I have that. I think I wish I had read more books. Honestly, the job thing takes up a lot of time, and I'll have done all the prompts anyway, which I'm quite happy with. Yeah, so I'll update you guys once once I'm done. Hi, it is the next day and summerween is officially over. I wish that I had read more books, but I did fulfill all the prompts, so I'm happy about that, you know? And I read some really good books. I did finish The Last Devil to Die, 5 stars. I mean, not really a surprise. This one made me really emotional, as I was talking about in the last clip, and I'm really sad that I have to wait till 2025 for the next one, but his new book is coming out in September, so I'm excited to see what that one's about. I actually don't even know the synopsis, so I'm gonna look into it and I will be checking it out as soon as it comes out. I don't think I have much more to say about The Last Devil to Die. It's a bit hard to talk more in depth about the 4th book in a series, but I love this series, and if you haven't checked it out, you really should, especially if you like good mysteries and stories that I guess they're plot driven, but the characters are so good. If you're a reader like me, who usually enjoys more character driven books, you won't be disappointed. You'll be delighted. I finished this last night at like 1:30 in the morning. Wow. Very good. I didn't update you guys last night just because I wanted to get my thoughts together, but I'm not even sure if I have. This is just such a good book, and it makes you feel such complex feelings. One of the reviews said it probably better than I could. Let me see, because I always go back to the front and like read all the reviews after I'm done with a book. This is from Literary Review. Clark's prose is brisk and clever, and the horror of the events described implicitly but deliberately raises a difficult question. To what extent are we as readers merely fresh initiates in a club of corpse-ogling fanatics? It makes you feel bad about engaging with true crime, even though this is fictional. For the beginning of the book, I was telling myself, oh, this is like guilt-free true crime. That's so not the point, and that's also not what I was feeling by the end, especially when the very last bit of the book is an interview with our fake author of this book, and we find out more about the controversy around Penance when it was released and the practices that Alex E. Corelli, that's such a good name. Alex Z. Corelli is a great name. Alex E. Corelli is still good, but not as good. And that's why Eliza Clark writes novels and I don't. It does kind of shed light on everything we've been reading. And I mean, before we could tell, he's a really, really unreliable narrator. And also the prose sections of the book just blow my mind. Like, when I was reading that, I was like, how did this even get fictionally published? Like, I know it's not real, but in my mind, I like believed it was real because that was more fun. And I was like, surely not a true crime story with prose sections written from the point of view of the murderers. And then I felt smart because it was actually addressed that like the story strayed so far away from the victim and was so into the killers, and it was just so interesting. You can tell it was a really well-researched and well-thought-out book. There was a lot of research involved in this, obviously, even though it was a fake true crime story. Eliza Clark had to do lots of peripheral research, if that makes sense. She had to know a lot about some underground dark web kind of communities. Not even dark web, I think that's wrong. Like the bad sides of like Tumblr and like what creepypastas are, which I didn't know what they were. Like it's things like that, and it's all done so well. I think I'm giving it a 4.5 as of last night, but it could change up to a 5. I loved it, but there's this like intangible little like 5-star thing that I just don't know. If I was being objective and not personal, 5 stars. But like personally for me, there was, I don't know. I actually don't think I'm gonna be too stressed about rating it. It was very, very good. Either a 4.5 or a 5. Every book I read in this video was amazing. And I've actually had such a good reading year. Like I've read barely any books I don't like, which is nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun doing this video and doing summer weenie stuff. Hopefully this is my first summer ween of many. If you like this video, leave the skull, like the dead emoji for summer ween, and let me know if there's any videos you'd like to see from me. I would love to hear it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I will be posting as often as I can. I have to apply for lots of jobs, but I'm going to be still working on videos when I can do. It's just a bit of a chaotic time. Give this video a like if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.